the fundamental skills, just general decision making, map awareness, that kind of fun stuff.
Okay, sure.
Um, so recently, me and my friend that I play a lot with, we were kind of just talking with each other or whatnot, and kind of going through our weaknesses and strengths and all that kind of stuff. So we, kind of he basically come up with a list of things that he thought I needed to improve on, and vice versa. Um, and so yeah, some of the stuff's like some of the stuff that he mentioned as well. And some of the stuff I found out from some of your videos just doesn't fucking matter.
I'm assuming it was like you shouldn't pick X hero in certain situations or whatever.
Yeah, just like poor hero picks and whatnot. Like,
Hmm.
picking, you know, somebody that's just not good for the current game at hand, kind of deal.
Yeah.
And then, in one of your videos, you just kept telling some fella that it just does not fucking matter. And I think you said it 100 times, and I'm pretty sure he still didn't get it. But
Yeah. Probably shouldn't trash talk my students on recording, but I had some issues with that lesson as well. Um,
oh, my
yeah.
bad.
Oh no, it's okay. No, there's
Yeah,
yeah. I mean, I have negative things to say, but I shouldn't say them. So, so anyway,
that's fair.
moving on. Yeah, no, definitely, I agree that hero picks are kind of just a silly thing to focus on. Basically, like most people don't play their heroes properly anyway, so it doesn't matter if you're being counterpicked or like if you're counterpicking the enemy team or whatever. Like, um, yeah, it's kind of a waste of time to think about unless you're playing on a team and you actually want to think about like drafting and those sorts of things. So
Yeah,
yeah, nope, it's good.
that's cool.
Okay.
So a lot of the stuff that I want to a lot of I suppose the heroes I really kind of want to talk about are more your mid and carry heroes. Although I do have a question. I am a terrible support. Like, I like to think I understand the basics of supporting and whatnot,
Hmm.
but like when I play supports and whatnot, like I end up with just a terrible GPM and like terrible level, and I feel as though sometimes I'm not greedy enough when I'm playing supports kind of deal. I mean, I suppose I'm either at, one or the other end of the spectrum. Like I'm either too greedy and taking farm from carries and all that kind of stuff, or not buying support items, like, getting ags, blinks, and all that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
Or I'm, not greedy enough where I've just got nothing where there are opportunities for me to farm kind of deal. Is it worth, like, if I want to play cores, like if I want to play mid and play like carry or whatnot, whether it be in pubs or whether I've got a little stack going on with friends,
Hmm.
like is it worth me just learning to carry so that obviously like it'll like increase my understanding of the game? Yeah, like it's worth me learning to play supports.
So it might benefit you to play like one or two supports, like maybe a Lion and then I don't know CM, just pulling those heroes out of my ass. But those are like pretty good general supports. But you don't really have to like master the support role. It's much better to just specialize in like mid and carry.
Yeah,
Basically, just like getting a hero up to a point where like you won't feed if you have to play support is nice. And it'll also help you with like rotational play and stuff and like trying to think like okay, I was CM in this game and I got level 2 at like basically a minute 30, and I was able to gank mid at that time, so maybe I should be careful right now, because their CM
yeah,
could be ganking me. Those things kind of help, but it won't like matter too much if you don't know how to play too many supports.
right. Yeah.
What is your current MMR though? Because that affects the answer as well.
It depends what hero I'm playing a
Okay,
lot.
just give me the number. It's okay.
So my current MMR is 4K.
Okay.
But I got coached previously with just specifically how to play Meepo, and I spammed the shit out of Meepo and other strong heroes like TA and
Hmm.
Alk, just kind of fast pub stomping heroes, and kind of inflated my MMR a bit to the point where I feel like I can't really play any other hero in a ranked game at the moment,
Hmm.
and play as well as I play like Yumipo, TA, all that kind of stuff.
Okay. Um, so what did you inflate it to? I'm actually curious.
So I was about 3-2, I think,
Hmm.
and got up to 4. I think it's currently just sitting like one
Oh,
win
okay.
out of 4K.
Okay, sure.
Yeah,
So that's fine. It's not like inflating it as much as you might think it is. You did learn things while you were playing those heroes, and like, okay, um, when you're learning to play Meepo, that involves a lot of like split pushing and jungling efficiently, and like learning to actually, find heroes that you can kill. Although Meepo, it's
yeah,
like it's kind of hard to find heroes that you can't kill after you get to a
yeah.
certain point. So it's a little bit different, but it's not like that skill is all fake, so don't worry about that. Um,
Right.
yeah, you'll be able to learn other heroes just as well. They might not be as good at pub stomping, but still, there's that.
Yeah,
So don't worry about that too much. Okay, that's fine. I mean, I guess last thing is, can you link me your DotA bar really quick?
yeah. Um, I'm not 100% sure how to do this, but I watched a video where you told a guy there's a little bubble up the top somewhere. There we go.
All right, excellent. Thank you. Okay. Okay. So what heroes have you been playing lately and like enjoying?
Ember Spirit is one of them. I really, really enjoy Ember Spirit.
Okay.
Um, I want to get um, Tinker more down pat. Um, a lot of the heroes I play are kind of like your pub hero kind of deal.
Mm,
But yeah, I play a bit like I play Slark a fair bit. I could like I feel like I could possibly play Slark or if I don't get outlaned real heavy in the early stages kind of deal because that's when Slark's weak as shit.
right.
Oh, am I allowed to swear? I probably shouldn't swear.
You can curse. It's okay. I curse all the time. It's fine.
Yeah, and so Ember, Slark, TA, they're probably the three main heroes I play. You could throw the odd Meepo in there as well. I was playing that a heap.
Mm,
And then the heroes that I was kind of really good at before that were like invis heroes. Like my mates give me crap for it all the time, basically saying that all I can do is just play invis heroes.
hmm
So like your Clinks, Weaver, Nyx, Ricky, Bounty to a certain degree.
Okay.
But yeah, the heroes I more want to focus on and learn at the moment are like your Wind Ranger, Ember, kind of like your mid kind of
Yeah, no,
pub stomp hero kind of deal.
I know what you're talking about. Okay,
Yeah,
we can do that. You definitely have picked like some challenging heroes to learn.
yeah.
These are like, 100 game plus endeavors for each of them. Um,
Yeah, I remember you referencing RTZ playing like some stupid number of Ember games like in a row.
yeah, it was actually in a row. I think it was
Yeah,
75, something like that. I don't actually know the number anymore, but it was
yeah,
stupid. But he got good at Ember Spirit. There you go.
that he did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, do you have any more general questions, or do you want to jump into a replay?
I'm just kind of going. Uh, there are some that relate to a couple of the replays that I've picked.
Oh, sure.
And just like I was saying, like just your general kind of map awareness and general decision making and whatnot. Team fights seem to be something that I feel like I struggle a little bit with,
hmm
like in terms of um, like targeting and all that kind of stuff. With and without teammates, kind of like coordinating a kind of deal.
Okay.
Um, and checking other heroes, like items and progression and all that kind of stuff. Like I in my head, I know some of the timings or whatnot, or what I assume their good timings and whatnot were, but like I still don't check, and I feel like that's something that I do, or I'm slow at checking
Mhm.
as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So those two things are actually like related in tangential ways. So basically, camera movement is a big issue most people have with team fights. It's really team fights have a crazy amount of information going on. It's like 10 people are using four different spells each, using items,
Yep.
right clicking, positioning differently. Um, the terrain is always different. So there's a lot of information to process, and most of the time people do not move their camera around to actually get access to all that information. So when you have like okay, let's say you see 6 out of 10 heroes and see them casting their spells. Um, the other 4 heroes are also casting spells and doing things and doing those sorts of things. But if you don't have access to that information, they become like unknown factors, and that's like it's hard to fight. It's much harder to fight against something when you don't know what it's doing. That's why like monster movies are so scary for people, or like you know um, I think like older monster movies are more scary because like they don't actually show you what the monster is. Like so you don't know what
Yep.
you're dealing with and you're just like you get these ideas forming in your head or whatever. I think like okay, that's like a crazy example related to Dota, but I think it fits.
Yeah.
It's like you don't know, what the enemy team is doing. Doesn't necessarily make them scary, but you definitely don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, basically like it just comes down to well, I mean, I guess like it depends on your issues specifically, but it probably comes down to you just not moving your camera around enough and like actively looking for stuff. So like maybe Nyx has been going on your supports and you haven't been actually looking at him to see like what his cooldowns are. Like okay, he might have already used his stuns, so you can go on him now. Um, like he's actually the best target, but you were looking at their PA or something like that because she's like their carry. You got to kill her. Um, that's like again a random example, but um,
Yeah.
usually it comes down to camera movement for team fights, and that is related to the other thing that you were talking about that is escaping me currently. Um, what was your other thing that you had issues with? Oh yeah,
S-
yeah, clicking on heroes.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's like a little bit more obvious. I don't have to make any analogies for that.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's just actively looking for information again.
Mhm.
Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen. Do you have any specific replay that you want to watch?
I had three in mind. However, one of them doesn't seem to be available anymore because it's not letting me download it.
Ah, okay.
But one of them is an Ember game where I just kind of want to watch like the first 15, 20 minutes.
Sure.
But that's I just linked you the match detail number. Um, but yeah, basically at the end of this game, we get two guys that wanted to queue on C instead of in the Australia, and they just end up telling us that they can't play because they've got ridiculous ping and just end up leaving us.
Okay, so there are two levers in this game.
Yeah, yeah. I'm not 100% sure if they were partied or something, maybe,
Okay.
um, but yeah, they just bailed on us, and me and Weaver kind of had a cry together.
Interesting. Okay, so the laning phase will probably still be worth watching then.
Yeah, I have a few questions in regards to the laning and what I did early game and whatnot, because I'm pretty sure a lot of it is incorrect, but
Okay.
just it's the idea of the coaching, yeah.
So I'll tell you right away that Storm Ricky completely shits on Ember Spirit. Um,
Yeah,
Storm completely shits on Ember Spirit alone, so adding Ricky to it is rough. Um, there's like no on paper way for Ember to actually win this matchup. Um, assuming both parties play perfectly in a vacuum or whatever, you kind of have to like really outplay the Storm. Mainly because like his burst is enough to take down your Flame Guard, and he can do it so reliably with just like one remnant. So that becomes a big issue for you. Um, just one on one with the Storm. So never mind having to add a Ricky in. So you're definitely not destined to do well in this game. But trying to
yeah.
mitigate that is what will make a good player, or what will make like a good player go to like greats. Okay, so classic C pauses. Okay. Um, so PMS is really good, but I'm not sure. No, I think it's fine against Storm. I was thinking Storm is like
Yeah.
mostly magic damage, and you might want some extra regen, so you might just want to go Stout Shield. But I think going PMS is okay.
I wasn't sure. Normally, if I don't go PMS, then I go straight into the Wraith Band to go into Aquila. But
Mm.
I figured he's gonna want to try and right click me in the face a couple of times. So
Yeah, no, you need some
yeah,
kind of Stout Shield item, so that's fine. So you don't get the rune here, which kind of sucks. Um, okay, that's fine-ish. All right, so right away. You get your creep denied by Enigma, which is kind of nice, but he also kind of denied the wrong one. You don't want to deny the well, denying the range creep is really nice because it gives like the most experience, so you can deny that from Storm, but it makes it hard for you to lane against this guy. Um, Range creeps do a lot of damage, and they kind of like help you out whenever you go for trades. So it kind of sucks that he denied that one, but it's not the end of the world by any means. Here, this is like a classic Storm thing, is they'll Remnant to go for CS against melee heroes. That just basically like almost guarantees them the CS, and it also guarantees harass if you try to go for the deny. So that's just something you need to look out for. Pretty much every time you go for a deny, or even a CS. Um, yeah, it's pretty important. They do a lot of damage, so you don't want them to like actually hit you. Okay, so you got what I'm saying, right? Like you want to look out for opportunities.
Yep.
Okay, yeah. Okay, so here you walk up with Flame Guard, barely dodge a Remnant, which is nice. Still end up taking a lot of damage though, going for this trade. I think this is fine, and I think you need to get aggressive in this lane. You just gotta be like a little careful and make sure you actually see Ricky. In this case, like you have an
Yeah.
Enigma, so he kind of has like Ricky magnet on him. Like Ricky is just gonna be
Yeah.
around this guy. But yeah, you still want to be like a little careful. You don't want to get too ham.
Yeah. I think I should have just clicked near him instead of clicking to attack the hero, and then I wouldn't have got the creep aggro.
Hmm.
But
Yep, that'd be good. Okay. Oops. Okay. Did this guy? I believe he got 2 points and over. No, he's not even level. What the fuck? How did this happen? So you're level 3, and he is not, but he got the bounty rune. You have 1 deny.
hacks.
How did this happen? This is really weird. So you're even XP right now. Did he just like give up on a bunch of XP? He's got full XP here. What the fuck? So you have a distinct disadvantage here. Oh, okay. Maybe it's just no, he doesn't even lose XP here. What the fuck? Is it here? No? Oh, maybe this is it? Would that... Oh, I see. Okay, you kill his range creep first. So
Yeah,
that is
Enigma
why.
took the first range creep, and my
Right.
deny was on a range
Right,
creep.
okay,
Maybe
yeah.
he.
Yeah, okay, that must be the difference then. Okay, so this is really good. Like, it's bad on his part to engage and, like, let you run up to him here, but this is good on your part. This is, like, the only time you'll have. Basically, like, your level 2 Flame Guard does 200 damage, or absorbs 200 damage, and his Remnant does 180. And Overload does, like, 40. So he can always pop it reliably if he gets level 2 and he skills up Remnant again. So that's, like, why I was saying this is on paper, like, one of... It's an awful matchup, basically.
Yeah.
Unless you like seriously outplay him with like Slate of Fist or whatever and dodge remnant and stuff. But yeah, this is another way to outplay him. It's just like recognize that like he doesn't have that power spike, and you can just go on him. So this is good. Okay. I was really confused there, but we're good. You get your bottle off that. Okay, so in this case, you're gonna want to bottle crow instead of going for the rune. Actually, you you can go for the rune, but it's like it's kind of a gamble as to whether or not you're gonna get it or not. But just because they have a Ricky, and like
Yeah.
Rubik could be bottom rune as well. So like if these guys are like even remotely decent, they'll have Rubik go bottom and Ricky go top, and you'll never get a rune in this game without like the help of Enigma or teammates or whatever. So this is just a game where you're gonna want to bottle crow. So just use up your bottle charges right away and then crow.
That's something that I feel I don't do like even close to enough. Like I don't use the bottle crow
Yeah,
hardly.
I think it's something that you can do in almost every game, and it's pretty good. It's really useful. Like, okay, if you were to get your bottle right now, it's really useful at this time because you would be able to use up your bottle charges, send your bottle home, send it back, then use up more charges, and then get the rune at 4 minutes. It
Yeah.
just that's something that you can do in almost every game, and it's pretty like it's almost game winning in a sense. Like um, having that much regen is pretty crazy. It's really hard to lane against, and it also lets you farm really hard. Okay. Yeah, so even though you just killed this guy, it's really hard for you to like actually push up on him. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, definitely you want to be careful of situations like this. Um, this is the issue with Storm and melee heroes is like he just does so much AoE damage that you can't really like go for CS or go for denies like this in a lot of cases without taking a ton of damage. So you just kind of, I think against Storm you need to like kind of concede denies in most cases anyway. Um, Obviously it depends on the situation, but yeah, I think he's too good at pressuring them to actually go for it. Okay. Yeah, see, this would definitely be a time to auto crow since you didn't go for the rune. It also looks like you have a buddy here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't know he was there when I was playing.
Yeah, I mean, it's you can't see him on the map, so I mean, like the only reason
Yeah.
I even know is because I see him. But yeah. Okay. I mean, I guess like the only clue you should have is that Ricky was laning top the whole time, and now there's just a wave, running into top tower, nobody's taking it. So that's like, what you can kind of use to gather that information or read that. But that can be tricky in game. Okay. Okay. You get the centaur. Awesome. Dude, that's a real benefit here. Okay, nice. You guys got him. So this was good. I mean, I like that you didn't hesitate at all. Um, yeah, this is good. You bottle when you go in. Okay, that was fine. No issues with that. Okay. Okay. This should be pretty easily read by the enemy team. Um,
I went back and had a look. They had a ward. I wasted a bit of time going down there.
yeah, so there's always a chance of there being a ward here, but I think more importantly, like, if Ember Spirit leaves mid, or any hero leaves mid at 6 minutes, and then doesn't go back to lane, it's like, okay, he's definitely ganking. That almost with 100% certainty. The only exception would be like a Shadow Fiend, who's like, okay, maybe he goes top rune and then disappears. He's probably jungling at that point. But
Yeah.
um, yeah, this is just like really easy for them to read. In this case, they can actually see you, so I mean, it's hard to fuck that up. But yeah, um, that's kind of why I prefer like a more defensive style that focuses on TP ganks. Um, I think that's like more reliable, at least like against better players. You can probably do this sort of thing against like um, people that are 4K but are not good. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, this is an unranked match, if
oh
that
well,
makes any difference.
okay. I mean, it kind of does. You can probably get away with it here,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
even then, I mean, this guy reads you, so or this guy like knows what you're doing. So, but yeah, I think like going for things like this is not super reliable, and I think you'd be better off just like going back mid and having a TP on you, and waiting for
Yeah.
people to overextend, or just like maybe you see Dragon Knight walk up a little bit like this, and you can go on him. It's kind of a bad example because this guy has 3 points in Dragon Blood. He's probably not dying to anything, but yeah. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So in this case, I think you should definitely have a TP on you no matter what, even if you do decide to go for this. But I think I would go back mid in this case. Okay. Okay, that was fine. You gotta be a little careful because Ricky could have been there and you could just like die when you go in. But why is he afraid of you? Okay, I guess you actually do have a power spec at 7 then. Like I was thinking this matchup is so ridiculous, but like he has to hit 2 remnants at that point. So I guess because he missed that first remnant, he has to be a little scared. Okay, that's fine. I'll accept that. Okay, you end up going bottom rune. Great. I'm really surprised Ricky didn't pressure you more. I think that's kind of bad on his part.
Again, I didn't know he was following me there then either.
Yeah. Well, I mean that one's a little bit weird to read. Like
Yeah.
their lane is all the way pushed up, so that's like normal Ricky. When he's not laning, it's just kind of hard to know where he is in a lot of cases. Okay, so Storm goes bottom. You don't have a TP right now, that sucks. But I don't know if you could do anything. Enigma doesn't have Black Hole. Yeah, you probably couldn't do anything here, so. If Enigma had Black Hole, you would probably get all of these guys, but that's okay. In this case, you just want to push mid really hard. Yep, that's fine. Okay, that's the best you could have done here without a TP. Okay. This looks bad. He doesn't have mana. Okay, you're fine. Okay. Alright.
So what do you think about the difference between going a killer first and bots? With that, like which one? Like this game I went bots first.
I actually am a believer in going Wand over Aquila on Ember Spirit. Um,
Okay.
I don't have any reason why, other than you get bots a little bit faster and you still get like a decent stat item. Um, I think you should go stat items before the bots though. Um,
Okay.
it's your hero has 900 HP right now,
Yeah.
and they have one, two stuns, three if you count Storm, but he doesn't have it yet. They have a silence, which is really really good. It lasts forever, um, especially if it's follow up after a stun. They have a root. Um, you need some kind of HP against this team. And this is true for most Dota games. Even games where like your hero is just really good against the enemy team. Um, I think having some fighting stats before bots is pretty important, personally. Um, Obviously, you don't want to go like full on SNY drum or whatever, but just an Aquila and wand is nice. I think you can get some combination of Aquila wands and bots as long as you get like the stat items first. I don't think it matters too much what you buy.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so you decided to go top. Okay, it's a bit of a waste of time, but it's okay. You only missed a couple CS for that. Okay, I would definitely go on that. Okay, that's good. I think like you could have gone a little sooner, like as soon as Storm goes in here, but this is fine. He zips in again. I'm not sure if you actually check their manas or anything, or their mana or anything like that, but let's see your. It didn't really look like you did, but that's pretty important, right? It matters quite a lot because, like, okay, in this case, Storm has full bottle, so he does have some mana, left in the tank, but he's pretty low either way. He's only gonna get like a tiny zip in this case, or he could TP out or something if he had one. Okay, so that would be important to check before you go in. But I mean, your execution was fine here. This is good. I like that you kited the lone druid rather than go for the man fight at the end when he popped battle cry. That was good as well. You probably could have killed him, but you picked like the option that you couldn't fuck up really, unless you somehow missed Slate of Fist, which would be impressive. But I've seen worse.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so ridic goes in the back up. Okay. So there's like a lot of interesting things you can talk about with Boots of Travel and Ember Spirit. I'm kind of in the school of not using bots to go back to base too often if possible. Oh, you don't in this case. What the fuck? That was weird. Okay. Never mind. Okay. I thought you TP'd back to base here. But running back to base is like definitely the best option.
To
Basically,
be
you
honest, if
just
I
have
had the mana, I
options.
would have.
Okay, no, that's fine. Glad I started talking about it then.
Yeah.
So basically, like, if you TP back to base, you can't TP to another place, which is, like, that's the condition, is you TP, if you TP somewhere, you can't just TP again unless you buy a refresher, which probably not the most practical purchase. So I prefer running back to base usually, Basically, like especially as a ganking hero like Ember Spirit, just because like it gives you options here. Like now you can TP anywhere with bots. You can go top in a second if you want to. You can go mid and push this out. You can go bottom and push this out. Like you can do anything. But if you TP back to base, you're limited by where you put your remnant before you go back. So you would have to go. Yeah, your remnant's here. Okay. So you would have to go back bottom. But since you have bots up still, you can go anywhere right now. You should probably end up going bottom anyway because they just had a successful gank top. But yeah. All right.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Dire's top tower is under attack.
Okay. Okay. So Ricky's respawning right now. This is something you want to be mindful of. He really should be following you around, and they should be ganking you more. That his hero is really good at killing your hero, with if he has other CC and like damage.
Yeah.
But he ends up going top. Okay, so you're safe.
I didn't like, yeah.
Radiant's bottom
At the end
tower
of this game, I was just like we obviously it ended when the two guys abandoned or whatnot, and I was kind of at the end. I was like, well, there was a Ricky in that game.
Yeah, it's this is a really high pressure hero, and he's not
This is
demonstrating that.
maybe even a comeback.
Okay, yeah. So I might as well just stop here. Um,
Yeah.
okay, so things to take away from this game are mostly laning phase things. I think like
Yep.
you want to be mindful of Ricky at all times, really. Unless he's showing in lane, then you don't have to, of course. Um, make sure that, like in storm-specific matchups, you kind of recognize that like he's gonna use Remnant to last it if he's any decent. So it's like unrealistic for you to go for denies. That being said, you can also bait him to Remnant and just like walk up and pretend to deny it or whatever, or pretend you're going for the deny, then just back up, get him to use mana. That's not like a huge win by any means, but it's something. Um,
Yep.
you can do that. Can watch out when you're going for range denies as well. Really, those were the most important things. Like you played pretty well in this game. I don't have too much to talk about. I mean, it was like there was this rotation bottom that was kind of iffy too.
Yeah.
I think this is something that like you could get punished for. Either you get rotated on or they just like completely dodge you. And you kind of did get punished for it. You had this period where like you ran back and forth and just ran all the way mid again,
Yeah.
which is kind of like a punishment in its own. It's like you were in timeout almost. You didn't get any XP or anything, so I would consider that like a valid punishment actually. That's fine. Um, okay. So yeah, I think those were the most important things. The bots lesson is pretty interesting too, but it's applicable to anything really. Um, I think that's pretty much it. Like you played, I mean, you played fine. This was fine. Why don't we jump to a different replay? Unless you have any other questions about this.
Um. No, I did have some written down. Yeah, I had basically whether there was too much rotating, which we already talked about. The rune control and missing creeps and whatnot, and you've already said that it's better to bottle crow.
Yeah, well,
Um.
specifically in this case because they have a Ricky.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. No, that's pretty much it all that I wanted to go through in this one. Just
Okay.
like with the yeah, like too much rotating, all that kind of stuff. I see now that they had a ward and whatnot, so that's. I mean,
Yeah.
I assumed that when I was actually playing that they probably had a ward there.
Mm. Yeah, it's definitely better to go for the more conservative plays in most
Yeah.
cases. Especially when you're a hero like Ember, who once you get bots, you can just be anywhere you want. So it's kind of important to get that timing as fast as you can. Um, yeah. Okay. So what next?
Um. Well, I kind of wanted to look at the Slark game that
Okay, this one.
no, not the. Was it that one? Wait a second. Loss. Which one? Yeah, I mean, yeah, we can look at this one. This one was
Okay. I mean, we could do a
was
different one
not
if you
fun at
want,
all.
like a better one. Okay, you want to watch this one?
Yeah, well, we can do. Yeah, well, I mean, this one I was laning against the Wraith King and the Centaur,
Interesting. Okay.
and yeah, it was retarded, to say
Yeah.
the least.
Okay.
I believe it started off with me by myself bot because Tiny and SK had a bit of a disagreement, and then SK eventually come down and just started right-clicking all the creeps with Caustic Finale. It was fun.
Excellent. All right. Sounds like a pretty standard C server game. Okay. So Centaur Wraith King is a challenging lane, but you have some ways to outplay them. You basically have to split them up a little bit and hope they trade with you separately. Um, Theoretically, you can use Pounce to dodge both of their stuns, but I don't think that's feasible in a lot of cases. Wraith King stun definitely, that's 100% doable, but Centaur stun is much harder. You have less breathing room there because it's not a projectile, it's just like he stomps. So, um, okay. I mean, items are really standard. You buy standard stuff, it's fine. Okay, yeah, let's just jump in.
Oh, that's cool. This new scoreboard tells you how much dual damage Legion had at the end of the game and how much stolen in Silencer had.
Yeah, and it also tells you who fed that, which is really nice. I think it says it. Where does it say it here? I guess it just tells you who kills who. So that's like, kind of the
Yeah,
giveaway. But yeah, no, it's really nice.
that is really cool.
They did a really good job with it. I'm certainly impressed. Okay, what's going on? What is this? Oh, okay, we're good. Okay.
30 seconds to battle.
So Slark items are good. You get Stout Shield, 2 sets of regen. Don't care about anything else really. Alright, nice. You got the rune. It needs a little bit of regen, but that's worth it. Okay. Pretty cool items. Okay. Okay. So the first thing you need to do in this lane is identify like, hey, these heroes are really strong. Mine is not, so I need to pull the creep blade back and get it closer to my tower so it's easier to CS. That's definitely the first thing you need to do in this case. Definitely don't let Wraith King do this. If he pulls the creep blade back, it's actually really bad for them. They don't want to do that because that gives you the opportunity to pull it back or pull their wave back at the same time, and that will just like split the creeps up, and you'll get a lot of XP that way. So this is bad for them if you pull, or if you pull the creep wave back. So you want to do that in this case. Also, they should have just stunned you here, but that's okay. I guess I can wait for level 2. Okay, yeah, there it is. Okay, and you get a salve. So that's kind of why I said they should have just stunned you there. They could do this at any point, really. Anytime you walk up. It's basically the only way you get CS in this lane is if they're not next to you, or if you're doing the creep aggro trick. So you need to kind of spam that this game. Are you familiar with that?
Which one?
The creep aggro trick. So it's basically like you attack, or you issue an attack command on an enemy, and then you pull the creeps back.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that's what you want to do in this lane. You just want to
Okay.
spam that shit. Good players will just stand in between you and the creep wave, but these guys are not doing that, so you can get away with it here. But yeah. Okay. There's not even too much to talk about except for like, that's what you need to do in this case, and make sure you dodge every stun. Okay. You definitely want to tango up right now too, because if you get stunned, like, you need to realize that these guys have so much fucking burst, like, especially once they hit level 2. In this case, Wraith King doesn't have mana, he doesn't mango, so he can get one more stun off. But yeah, now that Centaur has... okay. Now that Centaur should have double edge, they should be able to. They would be able to kill you right now, if they land a stun. So you want to make sure you're full HP. I can't believe he just skilled us up. Unreal. All right, that guy does not have the killer instinct. Okay. Okay, you're dead. Hello? Mango? Stun? Okay, so you're dead. 100% here. This is like the only alternate universe where they didn't press their buttons and Centaur didn't like skill return. So you're definitely dead here. Um, Basically, like, I think you kind of get baited by sinking in a sense. Like, you try to help him or whatever, and trade with him, but you definitely can't go for that. Um, there's no feasible way that this works. I guess you could, like, drain his mana, or drain his int, so he loses his mana and he can't stun, but that's, like, not feasible in most cases. And then Wraith King can just stun you as well. Okay, so they fucked up really hard here. You do have no regen left, though, so that sucks. But yeah. Okay, also, you probably shouldn't use your Fairy Fire in this case. I think you should save it. It's like better as a baiting tool. Okay. Okay, use a courier at 3 minutes. One thing you should check is to make sure mid has his bottle before you do this. If he does, then that's fine. I don't usually agree with using the courier this early, but in this case you kind of need it to, you know, continue playing the game. So, and Zeus already has his bottle, so he'll live. Okay, you get a salve, excellent. Okay, in this case, like, Centaur doesn't have any mana left, so if you continue hitting him, you can actually like do pretty well. Especially when he's isolated like this. This is kind of like, remember when I said that you need to split them up a little bit? In this case, he kind of like splits himself up in that sense. Like, he's just kind of sitting here when Wraith King isn't really next to him. So that's kind of a good opportunity for you to trade with him. Like, if you're running against either of these heroes solo, just one-on-one, like, you could actually do pretty well as Slark. He's just a good hero against melee heroes because of Essence Shift. So if you can find those little instances where it's like, oh, it actually is one-on-one in this case, like, you know, his teammate can't help him right now, that's how you would, I guess, approach winning this lane, even though it's like not that feasible. It's like, that shouldn't happen, but it's possible in a lot of cases. Okay. Oh, you guys didn't have a good coordination there. Oh, there you go. Okay. Yeah, you just kind of kited them. That's cool. So, you start off by... You Dark Pact right here, which is really good, because you're going to get the CS, which is the most important thing, right? And you also hit 2 heroes with Dark Pact, so that's good. They also can't stun you during that time. I think, did Wraith King just stun? No, he didn't. Okay. So you kind of like, you almost had a really good play here. If you had just waited for the stun, like, cause, okay, so when Sand King goes on Centaur, you should kind of expect Centaur to just be panicking and like pressing Q like mad. That's what most people do in pretty much every hero, is they just press their like defensive or offensive skill after they get stunned. So you could kind of read that, and you could go for Centaur afterward. Luckily he ends up coming back in and just suiciding. That makes it easy for you, but yeah. Okay, so that's good. I mean, that was a good fight. You took the right approach of just like going in and out of the fight. Which is good. A lot of people would just, like, you know, try to man fight those 2 heroes. Okay. Get PMS. Okay, in this case, I think it'd be better to get Giant's Belt over PMS. You need all the HP you can get because they have so much magic damage. Like, PMS is great, and it's gonna, like, help you live, but HP is gonna help you live much more. So I would go Giant's Belts for your treads. I think that's slightly better in this case. It doesn't give you like any offensive potential, but just being alive is, you know, how you be offensive in this lane. Okay.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Missing bottom.
Okay. Now that you have Shadow Dance, you can actually like, you don't have to be super aggressive, but you can start trading with them a little bit. You still have to be careful of stuns and everything, but yeah. Okay, that was good. Yeah, that was really good. Okay, so as long as you Dark Pact here, this is really good. There's pretty much no way you guys can mess this up. Okay, unless Sand King blocks, but there we go. He has another stun soon. Okay, yeah. No, that's good. Sand King hit a really nice stun, so they couldn't like defend themselves, and you go in afterward. You don't have to do too much here. The only way I can like really nitpick this is it would have been slightly better to like continue walking forward in between your attacks, but that's like you didn't really need it in this case. You don't have any other spells you can use. You Dark Pact right away, knowing Centaur is gonna stun. No, this is good. Maybe you could like, okay, this is like another tiny nitpicking thing that I could do, is realize that Sand King kind of has to chase like directly after Centaur if he wants to stay in sun range. So you can kind of like path around him in this case and like cut this tree down, but that's whatever. That's like really nitpicky. This is good though. Okay, it's super important that you did not die early on, because if you don't die, then like they get a level advantage, and that doesn't happen. They can stampede away. Wraith King will have 2 lives. It just becomes kind of a mess. So this is good. It's pretty much what you want to do. Still have to be mindful of their burst for sure, but you have the HP and the tools necessary now. And Sun King just got soloed by the Satyr. That happens. That's rough, buddy.
And a rub dirt in the wound by stealing his creep too.
I mean, it's better that they don't get it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I think you gotta panic a little bit here. Yeah, oh, that's fine. I would wait until Wraith King stuns before you actually pounce. It's like easier said than done, of course. It's like pretty nerve-wracking, but getting him to use the mana is really important. This is interesting. Oh no, okay. So I think this isn't a horrible thought, and it was like a good opportunity to TP if they don't have global. I don't think you can feasibly kill this Legion unless you like maybe land the pounce under tower. But yeah. Alright, so what caused you to TP? Was it the silencer? Or was it just like, you know, everything that was going on? Hello?
Hello?
Okay.
Sorry, I lagged out a bit there.
Oh no, it's okay. I was wondering, I like asked a question, you were just like dead silent. I thought you fell asleep or something. Okay. So, what caused you to TP in this case? Like, was it the silencer? Was it the Legion Commander?
Yeah, I had a quick look, but Zeus was saying that he was telling us all that they was getting dived and he needed TPs.
Okay.
And I swear I heard somebody else say that they were coming, so I was like, oh well, I'll go too. Just to kind of help out, because I did look and like, you know, the win range was low, and I don't know, I thought that if I had landed the pounce on Legion, he would have been, you know, under tower, and I could have maybe killed him. But that was the main reason that I went. I swear I heard somebody else say that they were going to come, but then nobody else came,
Okay, that's fine.
and it was just me there, like a dick.
Yeah, no, that's fine. I mean, I think like you could have given Silencer the dick, like that would have been fine. Definitely, like
Yeah.
I would go for Silencer in this case. Like I think he's a much easier target, and he's also tanking tower in this case. So, if you land the pounce on him, he's dead. He doesn't have any options. So I would go for him personally. I think that would have been really good for you.
Yeah, looking at it in the replay, yeah, that definitely looks like the better option.
Yeah, you kind of just TP like, you know, in his ass. You can't really get any closer. Okay.
He's not attractive enough. Legion's better looking, apparently.
I mean, I can see that. I don't know. He's kind of covered up with a mask and like all that robe, so you don't actually know what he's working with. But anyway, you know, homoerotic comments aside, yeah, he's no Zeus. That's true. The fucking whatever this guy is, the Italian god, Mario. All right. Okay. So kind of sucks that you didn't get any kills there, but at least you're farming. It's not the worst. Okay. This could work out. You still have to be mindful of stuns. Okay, that's good. Ah, shit. Okay. Yeah, so this is like just kind of Slark's issue against teams with a ton of different stuns, or any carrier's issue really, but it kind of sucks for Slark because his thing is like you live against a certain amount of stuns, but like eventually if they just keep throwing them at you, it can become an issue. In this case, like if you had Dark Pacted, you might have lived, but it's also like hard to say. It's like you use Dark Pact right now, it starts ticking down. Right here is when you can cast it as early as possible. If you were to cast it right there, I think you might live because you would purge both the Wraith King dot, the slow, and the stun. Then you would still have to run into trees though, so I don't really know if you can realistically live here. So like what's wrong with this to begin with? So okay. It starts off, bounty hits. Zeus is messing with Wraith King. He gets his ult, which is good. You guys kill Centaur. Okay. Then bounty gets bursted down. This is rough. I think like the only way the only way you live here is like if you run into trees right now and don't let Wraith King stun you. That's like you pretty much died because you turned. If you had given yourself a little bit more time and run into the trees, you might have had a pounce up in time and you could get out. That's pretty tough though. Like the only way you live here is basically like you're watching all parts of the fight at once and you kind of know Wraith King is respawning. Yeah. So this is pretty tough, but I think it's doable. I think you'd be able to do it. Okay. Okay. So why'd you end up TPing bottom here, out of curiosity?
I'm not sure if they were saying they were going to fight or whatnot. I think that is I'm going to say a little bit that I assume we were going to maybe fight, and a little part that I'm the carry and I go bot.
Okay. Yeah. So definitely understand. That's a habit you want to break though, in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
It's in this case you had two lanes open. Well, Centaur is like you don't really want to lane against this guy. He's actually pretty good against Slark, but you can lane against him and that'd be fine. But there's also a wide open mid lane. In this case, I think you would have been better off just like going mid and getting the tower. Like if your team fights, fuck it, just get the tower mid, or go top and get all this farm. Like yes, you're Slark and you're sort of capable of fighting, but really you want to get to your Shadow Blade, your Echo Saber. You want to get those items like up as fast as you can. So unless like you know specifically what you want to do in a fight, it's especially important on heroes like Slark to actively split push whenever you can.
Yeah.
Okay, so that was definitely an opportunity to go mid or top. You don't like get super punished for it by any means, but you miss out on farm, which is like a form of punishment on its own. Okay. Okay. Yeah, there's not the most efficient way to move through the jungle, but your teammates had already gone a lot of camps. I think this one is open, yeah. I mean, the only thing you could do better here is like just farm on your way up. I guess you might have known Winter was there and you were looking for her or something?
Yeah. We saw she was in there, and they
Okay.
pinged her out, and that's why I took the long way around, because we didn't know who else was in there.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Definitely don't want to farm during that time then. Okay.
And I pinged there, being a ward there.
That's good. Okay. Okay. That's kind of silly because you knew they had a ward there. But, so what else could you have done? I guess you could disjoint that with Pounce, or disjoint the Shackle, and kind of bait it. But, that's whatever. Also, I think they could have globaled and just killed you. But, he did not for whatever reason. Kind of shit the bed there. Yeah, okay, if he globals, you're dead. Like, you have no options. You get slowed, you have issues. I don't know why he didn't do that, but whatever. I guess sinking could have helped, but Wraith King was close as well. I don't know. That's close, but anyway,
Radiant's
moving on.
bottom tower is under attack. Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Okay. Okay, you really, really, really want to die to this one, Ranger. Um, yeah, you're just like not respecting this guy at all. In this case, he kind of earns it, like he waits in the trees, but um, yeah, unless you see him TP, you kind of have to like entertain the idea of him being there and position accordingly. In this case, it's like kind of tough to know where he's gonna come from, but yeah. I think just like waiting for this creep wave would have been good. There's no need for you to be here right away anyway. Like you're not gonna miss out on an ECS if this creep stays alive, or if this creep dies or whatever. It's gonna go back to you eventually. So this is just like a matter of patience, really. I like how he globals finally after you die, but anyway, my boy Ollie.
Wasn't getting away that way.
Yeah, no, for sure. All right, so we should start wrapping things up here pretty shortly. Okay, so main things from this game were like you should use the creep aggro trick more in lanes where you are having issues getting CS. That was a big one. You should also look for trade opportunities when they're like slightly separated from each other, and see if you can get one or the other to stun when the other isn't in range. So like, okay, in this case it was Centaur was standing here, Wraith King was here, so Wraith King could stun you from here, but only if Centaur stuns you first. And yeah, it's like kind of a matter of spacing, and it's also like it helps a lot to understand how much damage they do. But that's like something that comes with time, because basically like you can play out these situations in your head and see like, okay, if Wraith King is this far away from Centaur, then Centaur stuns me, and Wraith King stuns me as well after that, but Wraith King actually can't get any hits off. So I can get them to use their mana and trade it for myself. And that means that like they won't be able to go on me later because they don't have mana. Things like that are how you would approach this lane. It's definitely not a lane where you just like you have a standard way to play, and just like use your spells to combo or counter their spells or anything like that. You have to get weird like that, which is tough. Slark is definitely not meant to lane against these two heroes. At the same time anyway. So that was big with this game, and I think the other big lesson in this game was like just TPing to mid or top, instead of just like automatically going bottom.
Yeah.
It's much easier said than done, but try not to let yourself fall into the rhythm of just like going to your lane over and over again. There's a lot of the map. There's a lot of farm on the map, so you don't want to miss out on it really.
I actually think I remember you mentioning that in another one of your videos, to be quite honest.
No, it's something I repeat a lot. Probably sound like a parrot, but I mean, if I didn't believe in this stuff, I wouldn't teach it. So
Yeah.
okay. So do you have any final questions, thoughts, concerns, fears?
The other questions are more just like hero specific, like with Ember, like when to go the bots build and when to go the phase drums, that kind of stuff. And what do you think the best way of learning new heroes is?
Okay, so Ember question first. I think you should always go bots personally.
Yeah.
I think if you're gonna go for a fighting build, you should go treads, and I don't even know what you would build anymore. I don't think drum is like that great on him anymore. It's okay, but it's not like as appealing now that it gives like a lot of int. I guess you could go like, what could you go? There just aren't that many attractive stat items. I guess you could go like Trez, Wand, and Aquila if you were playing against a lot of heroes with burst. And like a lot of ways to hold you down. So like maybe global silence plus Bane or something like that. You'd build a lot of HP. But even in those games, like going bots is really helpful because you can just engage at good times and farm quickly, and then get items that are better than Aquila and Wand for defending you against those things. So I personally prefer bots in most games, but in games where you think you're gonna lose if you don't fight early, and like the enemy team is pretty strong early as well, I think it might be better to go treads, but I'm honestly don't know. I don't want to bullshit you. I don't know like what the best option is.
That's alright. No, that's what I want to hear. I prefer the bots build anyway.
Okay, awesome. That works out then. Okay, so
Also, just one last one. I
yeah, sure.
also heard you in a recent video tell a guy. Actually, I'm not sure if it was a recent one. I've watched a lot of your videos recently.
Mhm.
Um, to always play ranked when he was playing ranked and whatnot.
Yep.
Is that like, is there any benefit or disadvantage or whatnot to doing that? Especially if I want to play new heroes that I haven't played.
Well, the only disadvantages I can think of are like you might lose MMR while you're learning new heroes, and you might make some enemies while you're ruining some games learning a new hero,
Yeah,
especially if it's someone who's complicated like Tinker or Ember or whatever. But those aren't very, I don't value those much in my book compared to just learning. Um,
yeah,
if you want to learn a game, then you should play it against the best players that you can. Um, it's contrary to popular belief, it's not better to get like, repeatedly smashed by better players. It's usually better to play like, with people who are, slightly better than you or like, pretty good and like really or much better than you, but people that you can still hang with really. That's what
yeah,
I think anyway. So I think playing ranked is like a really good option for learning new heroes,
Radiant's
honestly.
bottom tower is
Um,
under attack.
it's definitely selfish for sure, but
yeah.
uh, who cares? Like, fuck it, just be selfish. So yeah, I definitely think that should be
Dire's
that's what I would do
structures are
in most
fortified.
cases anyway. Um,
Awesome.
yeah. So was that your question about like how you learn new heroes, or was that a different one?
Um, nah, there was one about how to learn new heroes. Like, I just kind of watch a lot of pro players.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, and just kind of I might practice in a lobby, like maybe one or two times. And then from there, normally I'll just play like a couple unranked games and then play, a ranked game or whatever.
Is under attack.
I actually play with a friend of mine who, I mean, our party MMR is around 3K, so we just kind of, muck around in 3K party,
Hmm.
which also kind of ruins other people's solo ranked games,
Yeah.
but,
Yeah, no, I get that. Okay, I mean that's a fine way to learn new heroes. Like you don't have to really adjust that. Like if you just need to make sure you get a good example of how to play it before you actually go and play it. Um, I'd say do that and then like mix watching pro players play after you play like, 10 games on your own or something like that. Or if you get into a point where like, okay, I've lost to Ricky 3 times in a row, as this hero, or I've lost to like, Zeus in lane 3 times in a row. Maybe I need to watch a, more specific replay in this case, and see how you play it. That's how you would like
yeah,
fix running into issues. Um,
Radiant's bottom
but other than
tower
that, you're
is
fine.
under attack.
yeah,
Like you're on the right track. So okay, I hope this is helpful.
was.
Okay, cool. If you have any other questions, feel free to send them my way on Skype. Okay.
Yep, yep, no worries.
Radiant
Okay, cool.
structures are fortified.
Well, good luck
Thanks, man.
and have a good night. Yeah, have a good night.
Yeah,
Okay.
you too, man.
All right.
All day.
Thanks. Take care.
See
Yep.
you later, man.
Let's stay. All right. Bye.